Welcome to this deep dive, where we take a stack of information research, tradition, practical steps, and, well, distill it into instant understanding. Today, we're focusing on a plant that seems pretty gentle, but actually holds immense nurturing power.
Yeah, it really does.
We've got guides and notes on the humble yet potent chamomile. Our mission today: to unpack why this plant is traditionally seen as a powerful nervine, and maybe more importantly, how its traditional use can shift from just, a simple cup of tea into a really foundational, calming personal ritual for you.
What's fascinating here, I think, is that the sources treat this herb not just as like a botanical ingredient, but almost as an intentional guide, a guide for calming the entire nervous system and achieving deep peace.
Right.
So we aren't just looking at what it is, we're
Mm.
exploring the preparation, the intention, the whole journey. The aim is really to help your nervous system literally remember peace.
Okay, let's unpack that core identity then. The source material gives this herb such a lovely, strong personality, calling it the mother herb. It's described as like wispy and gentle, almost fragile looking.
Exactly. Deceptively so.
But then it's called one of the most versatile and impactful plants in the herbal apothecary.
Precisely. And when the source is called a powerful nervine, we really need to understand what that means because that's key to how it works. A nervine acts directly on the nervous system. It soothes tension, reduces anxiety, encourages relaxation.
But not necessarily knocking you out, right?
Not heavy sedation, no. It offers that deep, nurturing embrace, soothing both frayed nerves and tender hearts, as the sources say, with equal grace.
That duality is really interesting, though. How can this sort of wispy, gentle flower have such, well, immense power over something as complex as our nervous system?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, like the traditional energetic assessment, the source material gives us some context there. It really seems to be all about balance and deep restoration. The traditional properties assigned to chamomile strongly emphasize that supportive, soothing role.
Okay, tell us more about those specific traditional energies. It kind of helps root the knowledge.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So we see its element listed as water,
Okay.
and its primary energy is fundamentally cooling and relaxing. These are energies that traditionally relate to emotional depth, intuition, cyclical rest, which fits perfectly with its role as the mother herb,
Yeah.
providing that deep internal comfort, especially when things feel, heated or frantic.
And that energy lines up perfectly with the ideal timing for using it, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. The best time for engaging with this specific energy is explicitly the evening before bed. Makes total sense.
Right.
And for those interested in the broader connections mentioned in the sources, it's linked to the heart chakra, the center of compassion and nurturing, and also the celestial influence of the moon. So it's really the perfect herb for winding down, seeking emotional rest, internal comfort, just as the day ends.
Okay, so for someone listening who wants actionable knowledge quickly, let's get specific on preparation. If this power is in the volatile oils, how do we make sure we don't just let that therapeutic goodness float away?
Right, the preparation is incredibly simple, but it has this one single vital detail that really determines how effective it is. The basic recipe is just 1 or 2 teaspoons of dried flowers in about 8 ounces of hot water. Pretty standard.
Okay.
But the crucial instruction, the one you absolutely cannot skip, is to steep it for 5–10 minutes covered.
Covered. Okay, that's the key.
Yes.
That covered part. That sounds like the difference between just a pleasant warm drink and an actual functional dose of medicine. Yeah.
It is. It absolutely is. And this detail raises an important point.
Yeah.
We're not just making flavored hot water here. We're performing a specific step to capture the plant's essence.
Which are those oils?
Exactly. Those highly aromatic compounds that give chamomile its characteristic scent, those are its precious volatile oils. They are where the real anti-inflammatory and relaxing power lies.
Oh.
If you leave the cup uncovered, those oils, well, they rapidly dissipate into the air. You're essentially losing the very therapeutic compound you need to calm your nervous system.
Wow. So if you forget to cover your cup, you might as well just be drinking plain hot water, or at least a much weaker version.
Pretty much, yes. You'll get the warmth, you'll get the ritual maybe, but you lose that concentrated effect of the plant medicine itself.
Right.
Once it's steeped correctly, covered, those precious oils are trapped in the water. And then the final instruction is simple. Sip slowly, allowing her gentle warmth to unwind your day.
Okay, so moving from preparation to practice. The sources lay out a detailed 15-minute ritual journey. I love that they frame it as a journey and not just, a checklist.
Me too.
This is where the knowledge becomes really practical, turning that simple act of drinking tea into a focused, intentional practice for achieving calm.
And that focus on intentionality and stillness
Yeah.
is truly the essence here, isn't it? It turns consumption into contemplation. It begins with step one, setting the sacred space.
Okay.
And this isn't necessarily about like an elaborate altar or anything. It's just about finding a quiet corner, somewhere you can be undisturbed for the full 15 minutes. It's more about a mental commitment to stillness. Using soft light or lighting a candle, that just acts as a physical cue to help shift your mental state.
That mental commitment really does sound like the core of it. So after we commit to the space, the ritual moves inward, preparing the body.
Right into step two, breathing in stillness. Close your eyes, place one hand over your heart. This physical gesture, hand on the heart, it acts as an emotional anchor, a physical reminder of that Mother Earth's nurture we talked about. And you breathe deeply, intentionally, imagining each inhale drawing in gentle peace and stability.
Then step three is the actual interaction with the tea itself, the finished brew.
That's sipping the chamomile's comfort. You hold the warm cup with both hands, feel the heat, which is grounding in itself.
Yeah.
You inhale the gentle aroma, which, thanks to those volatile oils we preserved, immediately signals your nervous system that relaxation is coming. And with each slow sip, you actually feel that warmth spreading, physically reminding you to slow down.
And what happens after the cup is empty, or maybe just set aside, that feels like a crucial transition point.
It is. That brings us to step four, resting in the embrace. This
Yeah.
is just pure stillness. Set your cup down, and the instruction is simply sit.
Just sit.
Just sit. No need to check your phone, plan tomorrow, analyze your mood. You just rest in this nurturing presence you've cultivated. This is the moment your body really accepts the effects of the nervine.
Okay. And finally, step five connects this moment of stillness back to the rest of your evening and presumably your sleep.
Correct. Step five is carrying the calm. You place your hands over your heart again, a final gesture of self-care, gratitude. You thank yourself for taking this time. The intention here is to truly internalize that this piece is now like a conscious part of you, ready to carry you through the transition into sleep.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me, where our knowledge base kind of shows its depth and forces a synthesis. We've spent all this time discussing water, moon, cooling energy, nighttime peace.
Yeah,
Yet the historical context completely flips the script, doesn't it?
it does. The historical data in the sources presents this sharp, really surprising contrast. Despite its reputation today as, the quintessential bedtime tea, chamomile was actually known to the ancient Egyptians as the sun herb.
Thunder. Wow, that is completely counterintuitive to everything we just discussed about moon energy and cooling.
I know.
It was dedicated to Ra, the powerful sun god,
Right.
and used in temple healing rituals for two very specific active purposes, vitality and fever reduction.
This is where chamomile's true versatility just shines, I think. And we have to synthesize these seemingly contradictory viewpoints. How can one single plant embody both cooling water moon energy and invigorating sun ra energy?
So is it actually capable of two opposing effects? Or does one interpretation maybe focus on its cooling properties while kind of ignoring its fundamental restorative strength? What's the thinking here?
I think the synthesis lies in understanding the difference between deep rest and just sedation. Chamomile, as a powerful nervine, it doesn't necessarily force you into sleep like some herbs might.
Oh, okay.
Instead, it removes the anxiety, the tension, the internal heat that prevents deep restorative rest.
Yeah.
So by taking away the overexcitement, the anxiety, the internal tension, you could call it metaphorical fever, it allows the body to achieve true restorative sleep.
Oh, okay, I see. So the cooling moon energy is the mechanism for relief.
Exactly.
But the subsequent vitality sun energy is the ultimate result. If you stop the nervous system from, like, burning fuel unnecessarily on anxiety,
You wake up restored and energized.
Exactly.
Precisely. It restores balance.
that makes sense.
The Egyptians used it to reduce actual fevers and promote vitality because they understood its power was in bringing the body back to equilibrium. It demonstrates that the path to true vitality isn't always through stimulation, but often through profound intentional rest.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, trying to put this together? We've seen chamomile as this powerful, versatile, nervine one that's key for this detailed 15-minute nightly ritual focused on cooling and relaxation. And yet, historically, it's linked to both calming moon energy and the invigorating sun. Quite a plant.
It really is. And the power of this deep dive, I hope, is realizing that the simple act of making a cup of tea, when you pair it with intention and ritual, can become a focused practice for achieving deep internal calm. And remember that vital instruction. You must cover the tea to preserve those precious volatile oils.
Don't let the goodness escape.
Exactly. That step is your actionable knowledge for maximizing the therapeutic benefit, making sure you capture the full power of the mother herb.
A perfect shortcut to being well-informed and hopefully well-rested.
And the source material leaves us with this beautiful closing image. May peace blossom within you like chamomile flowers at dusk. So we now understand that this nightly peace isn't just about feeling sleepy. It's about restoring your foundational energy. So the question maybe for you to explore is, how does embracing this nightly peace, cultivated through that intentional ritual, actually increase your clarity, your focus, your vitality the next day? That connection between calm and power. That's truly chamomile's deepest lesson, I think.